Oh, look at this. Dreadnought, Pelipper, and Chien Pao. Yeah, we absolutely gotta leave them salty. So it's interesting. This team has both Sun and Rain going up for it. I haven't actually fought an opposing Dreadnought. Salt Cure still does really well. Golden goes out of the picture. That's done. We're not going to do that. We can try Garganackle. I think Garganackle is going to be important. It's really going to be hard to pivot it. But if we find a way, we can do it. Brute Bonnet is going to be our biggest threat. We need to find a way to deal with Brute Bonnet early. Then Garganackle can keep on going. We can do Chien Pao. Maybe. I like Fergraph. Kind of. No, I actually don't. This is tough, yeah. I think I'm going to lead with Dreadnought, Chien Pao. And then go with Garganackle, Pelipper. Because Grass Terra Dreadnought actually surprised opponents, yeah. Okay. I actually haven't used Grass Terra Dreadnought. I was thinking I was going to use that more often, but just hasn't shown up. And especially too if Brute Bonnet's in the field, because Brute Bonnet can be like, oh, I'm going to Rage Powder. I don't care. I can just hit you with, like, another attack. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. We got this. 418 in ranking, y'all. Okay, Brute Bonnet and Torkoal coming out early. Alright. So this is what I'm thinking. Brute Bonnet is thinking, like, oh, let me... And then Photosynthesis activates. You're going to boost your attack, right? Alright. So here's how we're going to do this. What other Terras do I have? I have Terra Water. I think I'm okay with bypassing Terra Water. For this. I'm going to Ice Spinner into Brute Bonnet. And I'm going to switch out into Pelipper. So that way, if Brute Bonnet decides, hey, I feel confident I'm going to go with a Grass-type move, I don't care. Alright, so we're going to play it that way. Another Terra type would be interesting would have been Terra Fire, actually, and not using Terra Blast. Because, like, you wouldn't really hit... Well, actually, maybe not Terra Fire. So, like, obviously this play's pretty clear. There you go. I think the one thing to be mindful of is that Torkoal probably is not going to use Eruption at this moment. Like, why would it use Eruption? Like, wouldn't you... This play is predictable. Right? So Torkoal's going to protect. Oh, interesting. We're going to actually see a Terra coming out. Who's that for? Okay. Loaded dice. You know, actually, one of the problems here is that if Torkoal goes for a Fire-type move, we're still in trouble. Oh, well, he went on the wrong slot. So that helped a lot. Okay, cool. In that case, I do feel confident liquidating into Brute Bonnet. And I kind of want to Hurricane into Torkoal. If Torkoal decides to switch out, yeah, it was a very interesting strat. We got lucky of the prediction and how they kind of played that out, but yeah, that really did help out. I felt like me switching into Rain felt obvious, though. So I'm not sure why they decided to go that route. Oh, that was a pretty strong Sucker Punch, not gonna lie. Interesting. Okay. I appreciate Torkoal's Moxie in trying to stay in. I think I'm cool with switching out into Garganackle, and then still exerting pressure with Pelipper to knock out Brute Bonnet, right? Because Brute Bonnet is probably going to Sucker Punch Dreadnought. Or I can knock out Torkoal pretty... I mean, knocking out Torkoal now would be great. Versus Brute Bonnet. I'll knock out Torkoal now. Because I think what Torkoal wants to do would have to be switch out or protect, right? And so, if Torkoal switches out, then that's fine. Whatever you bring in is going to take a lot of damage. And I think I'm going to mitigate Torkoal's output. There's barely... Yeah, I figured Sucker Punch was coming out. I don't want to take too much there. And we get to knock out Torkoal early. That's so nice. Yes, it does mean that Pelipper is asleep. But I think it was a worthwhile cost to pay. Especially considering how much the team indexed into Sun. It was helpful to mitigate that. Alright, so they're going to bring their own Chien-Pao. Unfortunately, I can't get around the Sacred Sword shenanigans. But I can Salt Cure Chien-Pao. And I will Hurricane Brute Bonnet. Yeah, so we got some Sucker Punch shenanigans coming up here too. So once we can get rid of that, I think it's going to be a little bit easy to deal with. Brute Bonnet actually does have one problem that I'm running into, which is going to be, and I should have thought about this a little bit more clearly, but not the Hurricane, but the Bullet Seed. And I think if I targeted Brute Bonnet, I would have been in a lot better spot. So yeah, we're going to have to eat the Sacred Sword, unfortunately. Pelipper is still asleep. And we eaten the Bullet Punch? We ate it on Pelipper. That's huge. I'm okay with losing Pelipper. It has done its job. That does a decent amount of damage. Alright. Let's bring in Chien-Pao again. It's gonna be a little bit tricky, but we'll figure it out. I don't know what your final Pokemon is yet, though. So I don't want everyone to protect with the Garganacl. And... well, any Pokemon you send out would be, like, take neutral damage against Ice, except for your own Dreadnought, right? So I'd imagine that might be what you're thinking about. So, let me... let me Throat Chop Brute Bonnet. Okay, that also helps out. On its Great Tusk. Okay. Boost your energy. What are you doing? Attack. Okay. Okay, rain's over. So this is not the best, because what would the opponent try to do? They would, well, Dreadnought's going to be outsped, right? In a 3v1, okay, so really the main thing here is that I would predict that Great Tusk is going to use Earthquake, right? So if we target Great Tusk now using Ice Spinner, I think we can knock it out. Figured it out. Yeah. Because, like, what you want to do, you want to hit all your opponents, right? So you're going to protect your own Chien-Pao, use Earthquake. I don't care. I outspeed with this Ice Spinner. And you use Earthquake. Yeah. So that's huge. Okay. Alright. This is going to be tough. What I gotta figure out now is this final part of the battle, which is how do I deal with all of the offensive pressure that's coming up? Oh, wait, duh. I have my focus sash still intact. I'm good. I'm gonna Salt Cure. If Great Tusk protects, I want to Salt Cure Chien Pao. That's fine. The opponent can't 3v1 me. Because, yeah, if he outsped and use Sacred Sword, then fine. Then I Spinner, I knock out Great Tusk. And then it's just a 3v1. Right, so it's not a big deal. So I think the way that you would have had... Yeah, because Great Tusk doesn't have priority. And we did it! There you go. One thing to note about Chien Pao is that it plays very... If you've played Gen 8 competitive, it plays very similarly to Zacian. And it's actually kind of funny. They're like sword-themed, like four-legged creatures, right? It can only target one Pokemon at a time. And so I use that to my advantage of saying, look, you're going to target one Pokemon at a time. And then that turn, like, oh, they're going to use their Earthquake, and they're going to protect their Chien Pao. Reading that was important. And so, like, Wide Guard, attack it, and that just put us in a great spot. And so, yeah, I think the better bet would have been to use Sacred Sword, but I think the outcome would have been the same.